Hello everyone. In today's video, I'll show you how to connect the VR2 to your PlayStation and walk you through the essential initial setup to get started. These are the first steps you'll need to take to dive into the world of gaming with VR2. Let's get started. What's included in the box? First, we have the VR2 headset itself. It's a single unit, non-detachable, and it looks just like this. It also comes with a cable for charging, which is already connected to the PlayStation 5. There's nothing to adjust here. It's ready to go. Next, we have the controllers, which need to be charged before use. The package also includes a standard cable, the same type used to connect regular PlayStation controllers. You already get one cable when you purchase the console, and the VR2 bundle provides an additional one. I also have a stand and charger for the controllers. I purchased them separately, but I wasn't satisfied with the performance of a third-party charger. That's why I ended up buying the original PlayStation charger for the controllers, which works much better. Keep in mind, this charger is not included in the bundle. You'll need to purchase it separately. So, where do we start? What I really like about this stand is how conveniently it holds the headset. It's a great way to keep everything organized. As for the charging setup, I'll share more details about it at the end of the video. First, we unpack the headset. This is what it looks like. Let me give you a quick rundown of its buttons and how to use it. First, there's a button on the back of the headset. Press it and the headband expands like this. The headset expands to fit your head. You need to press this button for it to adjust, otherwise it won't stretch. Once you've placed it on your head, use the adjustment dial to tighten it securely. This ensures the headset sits snugly and comfortably on your head. Thanks to this simple mechanism, you can easily adjust it to fit. Now, what else do we have? There's also this button here. When you press it, the front part of the headset can move forward or backward, allowing you to adjust it for a perfect fit. But this is also necessary when you're setting it up for yourself, moving the lenses closer or further from your eyes to make the focus on the image sharper. This wheel, when you adjust it, allows you to position your lenses, shifting them closer or further apart, because everyone's eyes are spaced differently, and to ensure the best setup, they came up with this. In any case, when you connect your headset to the PlayStation, the system will read your eyes, where they're positioned, and tell you to adjust the settings for your face. And here's the power button for the headset. Also, this button, when you've already put on the headset and are playing, if you press it, it lets you see through the glasses using these cameras here. For example, if you get lost in your apartment while playing because you can't see anything when you're immersed in the game. Or if you need to look at something without taking the headset off, since putting it back on means you'll have to adjust it again to fit your head. You just press it and you'll be able to see through the headset thanks to these cameras. Then press it again and you'll return to the game. These are all the headset settings and the possible buttons that are here. I hope I explained it clearly. Let's set that aside for now. Next we have the controllers. Nothing special here. The standard buttons are the same as on your joystick. I think it's easy to figure out. Here you can already see the port for the standard charging cable, but I've already plugged in the original one because I have the original charger, as I mentioned, for the wireless joysticks. These plugs go in here. Then the joystick controller is placed on the charger and starts charging. No need to use cables. That's why this is here. The rest is all standard. Now let's move on to the initial setup. What do we need to do? We simply take the cable that comes with the headset, insert the connector on the back, and the other end into the console. That's it. It's plugged in. What happens next? We've connected our VR headset to the console, and we see that the red indicator has turned on. This means the headset is connected, but visually nothing has appeared on the screen yet, because, as I mentioned, the headset has a power button, and if we press it, the headset will vibrate a little. We see that the white indicator has appeared, and on the screen we can see that the VR headset connection indicator has turned on. Our next step is to put the headset on our head. Thanks to this button, as I mentioned, we press it and the headset expands. Now we'll put it on. We've put it on, and on the screen we can see a message saying to make sure you have the controllers in your hands. Before we do that, let's adjust the headset on our head one more time. As I mentioned, there's this head strap. Once we've put it on, sometimes the headset can feel loose on our head. You need to tighten it. That way the area will narrow and the headset will stay in place more easily. Thanks to this button, as I mentioned, we can move the visual part with the lenses back and forth. We can also press it to bring it closer. And now let's proceed with what the system is asking us to do. It says to take your controllers in your hands. You can see that I'm wearing the headset. The game hasn't started yet, but through these cameras here I can see everything happening around me, so I'm not getting lost in space. We've taken the controllers in our hands and pressed the X button. First, let's turn them on. On each controller there's a PS button, the PlayStation logo. We press it, and on our screen we can see that the VR headset setup has started. This is what I was talking about. The system asks us if we want to reconfigure the lenses, since another person played before and the eye positioning might have changed, as everyone's eyes are different. Let's go ahead and make the adjustment, so we press yes. As I mentioned, the glasses have this wheel that lets you move the lenses closer or further apart. So we adjusted them, and the screen shows us that if our eyes are within the blue circles, everything is fine. If they're too close or too far, the system will let us know that something is wrong. Everything is within the normal range, so we continue. Next, the system asks us to set up our play area, meaning we need to indicate where we'll be standing, sitting, or moving around while playing. In our case, we'll be standing, so we select that option on the controller. You can move the sticks left or right to make your choice. We select the standing area and press the X button. The system then says, "Okay, you want to stand, let's scan the area so the system understands how much space you have." And when we start moving our head, we see that our surroundings begin to light up, highlighting any objects that could potentially get in our way. Also, don't forget to scan upwards, because the system needs to know how high things are in case you raise your hands. As we can see, the system has scanned everything. We can see that the room has been scanned. Now the system wants to know how much space we have on the floor, meaning how much room there is for our steps. To do this, the system asks us to define the play area on the floor. As you can see, a laser appears on the controllers, and we can adjust the area to show how much free space we have. How do we know when to decrease or increase the area? On the screen, we see a blue color. I hope it's visible on the screen. And when we press the trigger, it increases the space. If we take the other stick that we haven't used yet and point it to an area outside of the one already highlighted in blue, we'll see it light up in gold or orange, and it will decrease the area. Now, in this case, we need to increase the area. We take the second stick in our other hand, point it to the blue zone, and then press the trigger to expand the area. That's it. We've increased our space, and we tell the system that we're all set. The system asks us again whether we'll be standing or sitting. We choose the option we've already set, that we'll be standing, and as you can see, the system shows us the boundaries, the area we defined earlier. We press OK. From this point on, everything is set up, and we see that the game has started. The next important point is how to know when your controllers are running low on battery. It often happens that these controllers don't last very long. I don't remember the exact specification, whether it's 4 or 8 hours of continuous play, but I think they need to be charged more often than a regular controller. To check, when the controller is connected, we see that the indicator is white, meaning the PlayStation is currently connected, and the battery of the controllers is being used because the system thinks we're playing. It's clear that if we play more actively, pressing buttons, the battery drains faster. But when it's just lying idle, the engineers must have implemented some kind of power-saving feature. But how do we check how much battery is left in our controllers to know how much longer we can play? In any case, if the charge level is critically low, the system will notify you saying it needs to be charged. Or, if they're not responding at all, it's clear that they need to be charged. I had an experience when I first bought the VR and connected it to the PS. One of the sticks was completely dead and the other was fine. One showed some signs of life, so it was clear it just needed charging. The other one didn't respond at all, and naturally, like any regular person, I immediately thought, is it broken? What's wrong with it? The system won't let you set up the whole VR setup until both controllers are charged, because it checks both of them before starting the game to make sure they're available and charged. So, the first thing you should do is not panic, but simply charge each controller for 15 to 20 minutes. That's enough to set up the system and play for a little while. Of course, for longer play sessions, you'll need more charge, but there's no need to panic. Just make sure to charge both controllers before starting, and only then proceed with the setup. Now, how do we check the battery level in our connected accessories? The headset itself doesn't need to be charged because it runs directly from the power supply via cable. It won't connect any other way. How do we check our controllers? We can either check directly on the controllers or use our regular PlayStation controller, press the PS button, and a menu will pop up at the bottom. In this menu, there's a section called Accessories. If we go into it, we'll see what's currently connected. We'll see that our controller, headset, and controllers are connected, along with their battery levels. So in any case, once you connect your devices, you'll be able to check their charge level and recharge them if needed. It's very simple. Also, when you're working through your controller, let's go to the menu. If you press the PlayStation button on your controller, a menu will pop up called Quick Settings. You can press here, and you can calibrate your play area or make other adjustments if needed. Alternatively, you can do this directly in the system settings. If you return to the Home button, go to Settings, then in the Accessories section, you'll find VR2, where you can make all the necessary changes, like height, area, and so on. All the settings are listed here. As for the charging stations, I have 2 of them. At first, I regretted not buying the original one and made the mistake of buying a Chinese version. Why did I buy it? Because it's convenient to have a shelf for the headset, which you can place here. It looks like this. There's a special indentation for the nose, and it sits comfortably, doesn't get in the way, and won't fall. So for that purpose, it works fine. This thing here, yes, has these wireless charging pads. The original one is already in place here, but with the Chinese one, it was something similar, though it charged inconsistently. It didn't always connect properly, or maybe there was a defect. One controller charged all the time, the other one didn't. So it was decided that enough was enough, and the original one was purchased, with no issues. The quality here is good. Yes, it costs money, but you know for sure that if you place it on the charger, it will charge. It just has a cable that plugs into the socket and you forget about it. You just place it on the charger. So this is how it looks, and you simply place it on the charger. Unfortunately, there's no indicator showing whether it's charging or not. It's all based on feeling, but so far it hasn't let me down. It works more or less fine. You can feel it magnetizing on the other side, which means the connection is established and it will charge.